On this episode of the Flash Traffic Podcast, we talk about Americans fighting in Ukraine, the evolution of the tank, and the new release of the second edition of Eric's Sniper book. Okay, let's go.
Conflict, politics, military-industrial complex, technology, war. The Flash Traffic Podcast.
Slandered her again.
Came back for more because then he was angry.
I can't keep his mouth shut. He's a
he's
narcissistic, egotistical liar. So all he does is lie. He can't not lie.
Yeah. Well, let's start today. I want to talk about your book release, the second edition of your book. We'll talk about that. Look, I got one too. The author was generous enough to send me a copy of his book. That's really generous of you. But let's not talk about that yet. Let's talk about
a lot, but okay. Yep.
Let's talk about some Ukrainian stuff.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
And then we'll move into talking about your book about snipers. First thing, let's talk about Americans in Ukraine. There's an article in the New York Times this morning. And, quote, for Americans in Ukraine, opportunity and the lure of combat, end quote. And the lure of getting a Russian FPV drone right up your ass. It's worth $3,000 a month. Can you not make $3,000 a month in the United States doing basically anything?
These guys want adventure.
They do want adventure.
I remember in the 80s when I was a devoted follower of Soldier of Fortune magazine, got it every month, read it, studiously.
Yes.
There was a big mercenary network in Africa fighting, all the wars of liberation and, that the Europeans were trying to cling on to their colonies. There was an industry of adventure seekers, some prior military, some just civilians who wanted action. Yeah, who go to Africa and go to Rhodesia and South Africa, you name it. And it was, they wanted adventure. Yeah, you could die, but they're like, okay, got nothing going else in my life. I might as well get whacked in Rhodesia. Okay.
Yeah,
it's out there. People will do it. Not many, but some will do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's an adventure. Anytime you go to Ukraine during a war, it's an adventure. Everything's exciting. But you could die. You get blown up, get shot.
Yeah. But when you're young, when you're young, you don't really see the shadow of the future. I'll make it through. I'll be okay. I've got, so many years ahead of me. You're willing to take, high risks. And people are willing to take risks.
Yeah, but these individuals that I've come in contact with that are willing to go over to Ukraine and fight, very few of them have any reason to be there other than they just want the excitement.
Yeah.
And I think they find out really quickly that it's not all it's cracked up to be.
There's
a lot of it is sitting around, being bored, being cold, being hungry, getting shot at,
If you're not there for ideological reasons and like you despise Russia and you despise what they do, or you just want to help the Ukrainians and do something good in your life, you see a lot of, GWAT veterans, younger guys who caught the tail end of it, think, well, it's just like what I did in Afghanistan. No, it isn't. You never did anything in Afghanistan like this, ever. Like, no GWAT guy has seen high-intensity warfare. I mean, you might have seen some horrible stuff like in Fallujah or Ramadi. I got it. They weren't dropping in Iskanders on you or artillery barrages or fab bombs. It didn't happen. It's a different thing. But so some guys will mistakenly think, well, I've been to war. I know what it's like. You don't know what this is like. But okay.
There's nowhere to relax now. I mean, you're talking 30, 40 clicks away from the front, the zero line. There's basically nowhere that you can just take a breather. unless you're way off the zero line.
Yeah.
Unless you're 50 kilometers away.
You got to be underground.
then there's
You
SoFi.
got to be
Yeah,
dug in, underground, not seen, 360 protection. You're not hanging out in a foxhole. I'm in my
yeah.
foxhole. I'm good. No, you're not.
There are a few guys that went there for ideological reasons, or they had family. They married a Ukrainian before the war even started, and they were living in Ukraine. So are some expats that I have met in Ukraine that have those reasons for being up there. But also, I've met a lot of those kids uh, newly into the Ukraine army, and they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea about life. They have no idea about the Ukrainian army or the Russian army, or they don't know what the Soviet Union is because they were born after 1990. Like, okay,
My
well,
kids don't know what 9/11 is. Something they read in the history books. It's 20 years ago.
yeah,
Don't mean anything to them.
yeah. It's like Vietnam, the
Yeah.
Vietnam War to us. I know what the Vietnam War is. I didn't serve during Vietnam, obviously.
I
I
thought
can't
maybe you
relate
did.
to that.
Thought maybe you were at Khe Sanh. Okay.
I'm just saying I can't relate to it.
Yeah, you can't
like
relate to
people
it.
that went through it.
You didn't participate in it. Yeah. I got it.
Don't. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, Ukraine's a different. Well, I remember, and I only know this from doing some sniper research. I don't know if you knew this a couple of years ago. There's a lot of propaganda, Ukrainian propaganda going around about a guy named Walid, who I think was part maybe Salvadoran, but like a U.S. citizen who volunteered. I think he was. I think it was maybe in. Was he Canadian? Maybe he was in the Canadian military, caught the tail end of Afghanistan. Then like he served in Syria, and then he like war blogged his way through Syria as a volunteer. And so then he was a Canadian dude, and then he ended up volunteering in Ukraine. Kind of this war traveler. And then he was in a trench, like some Ukrainian idiot next to him was like smoking a cigarette at night. Russian tank opens fire, like nearly misses I think causes an explosion nearby. I think he gets blown off his feet, gets knocked out, gets a concussion, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here, bro." But there was all this Ukrainian pro-Ukrainian propaganda about this guy. The world's best sniper, got the longest shot, in Iraq. Fighting ISIS. It wasn't him. It was a different Canadian team. But there's this tremendous amount of misinformation about this guy. How he's a
Yeah.
sniper hero and he's going to handle all the Russians. And then he
Yeah.
eats a tank shell in a trench at night, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going home, bro. I'm not doing
Oh
this."
yeah. A lot of those expats and those guys fighting over there, just expats in general, they make up their own stories about their origin stories. They just make it up. There's a lot of guys that are like, "Oh yeah, I'm ex-military, ex-special forces."
That's cool.
Dude, no, you're not. No, you're not.
And like that,
I don't believe my going in proposition when I meet an expatriate or a Westerner in Ukraine. My going in assumption is they're completely full of shit. Whoever they are, they're full of shit.
that's probably a good basic assumption to make.
Yeah. So whatever
Whoever
they
you
say,
are, a Russian
okay.
artillery barrage doesn't care who you are.
Yeah.
Don't care who you are.
Well,
Be whoever you want.
You were not special forces when you were in the U.S. Army. Guess what? You're not special forces in the Ukrainian Army either. So, a lot of bullshit.
And you will all get killed the same in an arty barrage. You'd be as cool as you want.
Unless you're in a tank. Look at these tanks.
Asterisk.
So, in the New York Times, just this morning, they released this article about tanks. And the title is, quote, "Tanks were just tanks until drones made them change." It's kind of a goofy article. I'll put all these articles in the show notes. This is kind of goofy article. I thought it was interesting from this perspective right here. Just chronicling, it's kind of hard to say, how the tanks have evolved during just 3.5 years. Before the war, we had the coke cages, right? we had cope cages on tanks before this war in Syria, in Iraq, and Afghanistan, because you don't want something to come from the top. The top is very weak from a tank on a tank. So you don't want a Mavic drone to drop a grenade and hit the top, and it gives you arguably like some tiny protection from top-down attack missiles, like the Javelin. Not really, but it gives you a little.
Javelin comes in at a high angle. It doesn't come 90 degrees straight down, not like those cope cages do. It's like at a high angle.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really give you that much protection. But we had the cope cages. We had the little tiny canopies on top of the tank, right where the top hatch is. We've had those for a while before the beginning of the war. And then, according to this article, you got these big giant turtle right here, these big giant turtle tanks. And they were completely worthless. You can't see out of them. You can't maneuver.
They're not a tank anymore. They're a mine detector. You hit a mine, then you abandon ship and you run away. And then in about 10 minutes, 155 artillery takes you out. That's how it goes.
And these were supposed to protect against the drones, and they did not. They did not at all.
And I would say, well, partially, you got to figure out where to hit it, but you would need 100% foolproof 360 protection, which means you're no longer a tank. You're a mine detector. You can't move your turret. You can't see anything. There's no, there's what they call APS, active protection systems, like Israel's trophy system that's supposed to automatically defeat incoming ATGMs. Like you're completely turtled up boxing. There's no APS on that. You may protect yourself a little bit from the drones, but every other system out there that's looking for you, you're a bullseye, man. You just painted a bullseye on you.
Plus, getting out of that tank, like if you had to disembark your little metal coffin.
And you will, because you're not lasted long. When you YOLO on the zero line, you're going to last a couple minutes. You'll last 5 minutes maybe.
Oh, these guys hit a pothole in their tanks and they're fucking gone.
They can't get out of it.
And they just get out. They just stop the tank. We've been hit. They don't care what it is. Anything happens, they get out of the tank and they run. Look at this. Then from the turtle tank, we went to kind of a netting, kind of a canopy with a netting.
Yeah,
and
right.
I have seen, this is anecdotal, but I have seen FPV drones get caught in these nets.
Oh, yeah, sure.
In videos.
Sure.
So it does work. I mean,
I've seen it too. But then you know what?
Yeah.
There's another drone right behind it.
Sure. Yeah, you can't escape.
It's going to hit you on the crease. It's going to hit you right on the crease there. Or a drone hits you on the drive sprocket. All you have to do is stop the tank from moving forward. That's it. And then you pick it off whenever you want to.
Yeah, before, if your tank got a mobility kill, later on you'd have the M88. Is it called a Hercules? M88 tow vehicle come in, get the tank, pull it back, fix the tracks or whatever's wrong with it if the crew couldn't fix it.
Right.
But now, if you have a mobility kill, there's no chance of you getting that tank back. It's just going to sit there until the Mavic comes by with a couple of grenades and drops them through the open hatch, because the Russians love to leave the hatches open.
Or the engine deck. Or artillery round hits
anything.
It. None of this stuff stops a 155 round. None of it. None of it.
Well, this article goes on to say the fourth evolution now is these weird cactus-looking things to catch the fiber optic cable.
I've never seen that.
What the fuck is that? That's not going to work.
Yet. So tell me how that stops the AT-62 anti-tank mine. It doesn't. Tell me how it stops a Javelin. It doesn't. How does it stop a 155 shell? It doesn't. Here's another.
It's not going to stop a drone.
Yeah. How's it stop a Stugna? People don't talk about the Stugna much. Tell me how it doesn't stop that.
Yeah.
The tank has far more things to worry about than just the drone. The drone has popularized it.
The Stugna P.
Stugna P is legit.
The P.
The thing's
Stugna
legit.
P is the Ukrainian laser-guided anti-tank missile.
Laser riding, almost like a tow.
Yes.
It takes out
Anyways,
everything it hits.
This is not gonna. Have you ever seen a video where an FPV drone, fiber optic or otherwise, is circling around the tank and trying to find an ingress route to the turret hole gap? No, they just come straight in. They're not. This picture seems to say, look, the defense here is the FPV drone attached to a fiber optic cable is going to circle your tank before it hits you, and then it's going to get tangled on these little cactus things.
It's not going to circle you. It's going to stand off. It's going to look. It's not going to spin. You know what? The tank is dead.
The tank is dead. You're not going to survive. This article just reinforces it. This article is just, look at all the bullshit you're trying to do desperately to maintain survivability of the tank, and none of it's worked. None of this shit's worked. 3.5 years.
Too many threats out there. The tank is overwhelmed with very good threats that there's no solutions to. There's too many problems, not enough solutions.
We will have protected mobility in the future, but it's not going to look like this. Whatever it is, it's going to be like a hovercraft with a plasma, an EMP burst every 10 seconds as it moves down the back. Who knows? It's not going to look like this fucking thing.
So then the question,
65-ton
question comes back, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You got Germans selling tanks for $23 million a piece. For what? What are you getting out of it? It's a mobile
idiots are
gun.
going to buy it, if idiots are going to buy the tank, we'll make it.
They'll sell them to you all day. Who cares? Sell them to you all day. So Russia's lost over 4,100 tanks confirmed visually in some way or another. Destroyed, damaged, abandoned, captured. 4,100. Whatever tank you have, do you think you won't be 4,101? Because you figured it out. These other 4,000 dudes, they didn't figure it out, but you got something that's going to figure out how you're now 4,101. I don't think so.
Do the same thing, expect a different result. Okay. Whatever.
The turtle tank,
you're dead.
Buys you a couple more minutes. Realize you bought a couple more minutes. You bought another 120 seconds of your life. Okay.
That's cool. Ridiculous. This article kind of goes along with it. This article is from Defense One. And the author
they do good
is
stuff.
Patrick Tucker, who I think is the editor-in-chief of Defense One, I believe.
I've heard of them. They do good work.
The title of this article is Ukraine's Milestone Shows Drones Prevent Defeat, but Don't Secure Victory.
That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I might agree with them.
Yeah.
I think I agree with them.
They've produced 1 million drones already, according to the article. They're going to produce and deliver another million drones by the end of this year. So that's 2 million drones Ukrainians have delivered to the front lines in 1 year. And it has not helped them, as this article points out, has not helped them one iota to take back territory that they've lost from the Russians.
That's not true. It has helped. Any territory that they take back, if you look at some of these minor tactical advances near Sumy going on, of course that was enabled by the drone. It's not the only thing, but the drone factors into everything. Good, bad, or indifferent, the drone impacts every aspect of warfare today.
Right. But it has not, let me clarify. It has not enabled massive joint maneuver warfare where they can gobble up territory like the Kharkiv offensive of 2023.
Know what it could have? It could have, if Russia wasn't doing the exact same thing right back at you. It could have. But guess what? Russia's adapted. They're doing the same thing. Just like the Germans in World War II, their revolutionary and military affairs was blitzkrieg warfare. Guess what? Every other country copied it and figured it out. And now your advantage is gone. Ukraine no longer has that really solid advantage that they once had with their use of drone warfare. Russia's doing it too. And now you're both paralyzed.
Yeah, your best bet in defeating drone warfare is just a massive, super fast blitzkrieg attack where you chew up like 20 kilometers as fast as you can with everything you've got, mass, surprise, objective, the principles of war. And then you just overrun these kids sitting in basements flying drones because it's not a mobile capability.
Says
It's
who?
got to be in a basement,
Well,
and
so
they've got
why?
to sit there.
So why can't you have echelons? Why can't I have guys 5 miles back, 5 miles back, 5 miles back, 5 miles back, and I'll just
You could,
hit you? Well, you will, and just hit you continuously as you
sure,
go. What
if
about
you
Rubicon and
if you had the
Kursk?
resources.
If you had the
What?
resources, I'm going to assume
Yeah,
Ukraine and Russia both has the resources. So you tell me. So you tell me. There's a lot of
yeah.
talk right now of the Russians doing a big build-up for an air quotes final offensive around Pokrovsk. Are you
Right.
hearing that?
Yep. Yeah, I think I sent you an article about that. Or
So
I
do you
sent you
think
the
there's going to be
excerpt.
masses of armor?
Oh yeah, of course there is.
So okay, well you say of course we haven't seen it in many months.
Well, I mean, there's masses. There's going to be an armored column. There's going to be
Like how
columns
many?
of armor. Like I don't know.
Hundreds
We've seen. No, I don't
or a
think
couple
that many.
dozen?
A couple dozen.
Because there's
That's
talk
what we've seen.
on the Twitterverse of that Russia's been husbanding hundreds of armored vehicles.
Yeah.
Massive attack. When's the massive attack coming? Summer's over. When do the rains come? You've been there. When does the Rasputitsa come? When's that coming?
Probably October.
Oh,
Like the end
bro,
of October.
when's the attack coming in the next 6 weeks?
Hopefully
It
for the
has to.
Russians, they do it.
It has to.
If they're going to do it, they got to do it. But then everything freezes up. And then we have like this weird winter assault period.
So my contention is massed armored cannot approach the zero line unnoticed. There's no hiding it. There's no masking it. There's no concealing it. They're going to see it 10, 20 clicks out. They're going to get all the video game nerds together on their PlayStations. They're going to start stacking drones. And they're going to just pick you off over the course of 10, 15, 20 clicks. And if you ever actually reach the zero line, I would be surprised. You're probably going to hit a minefield.
I think you're right. I don't think this when they're amassing some armada to attack Pokrovsk. I don't think those tanks and those armored infantry fighting vehicles are going to help them much. I think those guys on the scooters and the motorcycles are going to go as deep as they can. Try to get 20 kilometers.
YOLO.
You're just going to have groups of 4 or 5 guys, hundreds of these groups, just going as deep as they can.
Stormtrooper tactics, infiltration tactics.
Well, the front line, as we saw north of Pokrovsk, is just porous.
Yep.
Like it's not the Maginot line. It's
Right.
not a solid front line. You can go as far as you want. Like some of those groups, they get 15 kilometers behind the front line. God, you could go to Kyiv if you wanted. What are you going to do there?
Get whacked.
So if they are amassing troops to make this giant assault in Pokrovsk, the Russians will probably send these 5-man teams 10, 15 kilometers, just hundreds of them. Why not? How many Russian teams were in Dopoprilia, that little town that where they had the
trying to pronounce that. Not even trying to pronounce that. It's impossible.
The tactical breakthrough. It's not an operational breakthrough, of course, but they had that little tactical breakthrough where they went like 6 miles beyond it. How many teams of those? Hundreds, a couple hundred guys. Who knows?
Interesting.
So the Russians will send 40,000 guys.
And it's interesting that this goes back to infantry. This goes back to controlling turf with humans. Drones aren't going to control turf. Tanks aren't. You actually need humans rooting through cellars, every little hole, every dilapidated, blown up building. You got to comb through it. It takes a minute. Like you see those videos of those guys clearing these demolished villages. You need humans on the ground looking through every little crevice. It'll take you all day to clear like a couple blocks of blown up shit village. It's gonna take a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard work.
I mean, it's
That's
hard
why
work, dude.
that's why people don't want to do it. Armies don't want to do it. You want to fix that city and just roll on by. You don't want to get Stalingrad in for the next 6 months, going door to door, block to block. And then even then, you still have guys popping up. Like in Gaza, you have a guy pop up behind you
Very
and shoot an
inconvenient.
RPG.
It's very
You
inconvenient.
just cleared that building.
Yep.
You just cleared that building. You're moving to the next building, and then a guy pops out of it.
What you got to go
There's
underground.
tunnels.
Yep.
Yeah, there's tunnels all over
Tunnel
the place.
rats.
So,
Takes a time, takes a minute. You got to do all the little detailed work. It's urban, like urban warfare. It just
War's
sucks
hard.
up so much troops and times to cover every little crack and closet and basement. It absorbs manpower to do that.
I was thinking about this. You know how we call urban warfare the 3D warfare because you can be attacked from multiple
It's really
levels.
4D because underground.
I'm not saying that. Right. I'm just saying, it's a 3D battlefield where you look at the normal battlefield, it's 2Ds, whatever's in front of you. Maybe the Air Force, is a problem. But you're basically looking whatever's in front of you.
Yeah.
But drones have made the battlefield 3D, just like urban fighting. Really, now everybody is fighting like an urban battle now, everywhere.
You can't just be like, I'm in a trench, no one can see me. That's over.
That's 2D.
That guy,
2D battle.
yeah, that guy can see you. That guy up there, he can see you. Going in the trench doesn't help you much anymore. And it serves like a trench line is an identifying feature that a drone's going to see. It's going to follow. It's going to lead to you. And when the bomb comes in, the walls of the trench are going to bounce all those explosions right back on you. It's going to make it worse. Yeah, it's complicated. Battlefield's complicated and deadly.
Yeah, and with 1 million drones on each side, you don't really know whose drone that is. In this article, first article we talked about, they mentioned that there was a pickup truck, a technical, full of, I guess, American soldiers fighting for Ukraine. And an FPV drone came in, and they were shooting at it, which obviously does no good unless you have a shotgun.
Hope they got it.
And then one of the guys threw their rifle at the FPV drone, missed, and then the FPV drone peeled off and didn't hit them. And they didn't understand why. It was a miracle, and they all cheered.
Ukrainian drone.
I think I know why, because that FPV drone was a fucking Ukrainian FPV drone. And it came in, it was about to blow them up, and they're like, is this our guys or is this Russians? Friendly fire. That is probably the only thing I can think of.
No, that was
an FPV drone.
That was a Ukrainian drone.
That's what happened. Because there's 2 million drones out there. They're
Tremendous
all over
confusion.
the place. They're like mosquitoes. They're like mosquitoes.
Tremendous confusion. Oh, I got the name for your book. The Mosquito War.
Oh, that's a good one.
Boom.
Let's talk about your book. That's a good
You're
segue.
welcome.
You're good at coming up with titles. The title of this book, second edition, just got released, and I have do I have a preliminary?
Yes, we'll call it whatever that makes it sound exclusive. Yes.
Yes.
Exclusive.
I have an early release copy that's not available to the public, but it will be soon, like right now. This book is by your pseudonym, your nom de plume, John West.
Right.
Second edition.
Fry
the Brain.
Ben Franklin when he was writing shit about the British government under his pseudonym.
I know, I read this book when you first published it, 15 years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago, 2009, January 2009.
You gave me a copy in 2009.
I remember. I signed it.
And I know why I think I know why you use a pseudonym. I'm not going to say why, but it doesn't matter. Fry the Brain. The subtitle is The Art of Urban Sniping and Its Role in Modern Guerrilla Warfare. The second edition, correct me if I'm wrong, has 2 new chapters, one on Ukraine and one on Gaza.
Syria, Gaza.
Oh, Syria.
But I
So 3 new
also,
chapters.
yeah, I
So you're saying
modified some
there you
stuff.
go.
Like I did a chapter on technology, which is essentially a newish chapter. I updated like the whole book. It was dated.
Okay, so it's a new book. It's a new book on sniping.
Right.
How has sniping changed in the last 3.5 years? How's it
Um,
changed?
so I would maybe say let's go back to say like the year 2000. And I'm just talking in generalities, just what I've observed. Um, if someone's got more information, do your thing. Um, the sniping in general has gotten more, I guess, effective. Like the tools you have are better. Like you probably, anyone in the military, if you remember, like I remember first going to an Iraq, like our snipers had like M14 rifles, like rifles from the 60s. But I'm a designated marksman. Okay, you had guys with I think is it the M24 or M21? I'm getting my nomenclature wrong. Basically, bolt action 308 rifle. It's like a deer rifle. A
I
lot of
think that's
guys.
the M24. I'll
Yeah,
look it up right now.
M24.
You keep going.
Yeah, a
That's the M24.
308 NATO round. Bolt. It looks like a deer rifle. Um, so you had these rifles that were not designed
Yeah.
originally for sniping, and you're making do with them.
Yeah, the M24 is the 7.62 bolt action.
Remington 308 bolt action.
Yeah.
Decent rifle.
Yeah.
But now today I see a absolute proliferation of purpose-built sniper rifles designed from the ground up, built from inception to be a sniper rifle. It's not like we're taking something else. Like in World War II, you used like whatever
Mhm.
battle rifle you had, and the armorer says this is unusually accurate compared to the rest of the dog shit we have. That's a sniper rifle. Okay,
Mhm.
no one does that today. No professional military just takes the normal battle rifle and says this one's kind of accurate. You're a sniper. Go ahead and use it. That's done. That's over. You got purpose-built sniper rifles from the ground up that are designed to be a sniper rifle, and that's now the norm. Like no one's rolling with an M14 and says I'm a sniper. You'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You get laughed out of wherever you're at. No one uses that. No one's using the M24 and like saying, hey, this rifle's great, man. No one says that anymore. So there's been this proliferation of professionally manufactured sniper rifles where the quality is just off the hook good.
So we've talked about this before, but how have drones changed sniping? The sniper
Everything.
profession.
Just like ubiquitous drone warfare, I trademarked it. I'll let other people use it. It's okay. It's not about me.
Yeah, it's in your book.
Has changed every aspect of sniping. It's put snipers out of business. You and I talked about this before, where like a Ukrainian sniper says, "Takes me 2 days to prepare for a mission, for a one-day mission. So it's going to take me 3 days to do a mission. I might get off 0 shots. I may get off 2 shots. Right? This is a precision, kind of generally slow business where you're stalking or hunting a prey unseen. Very slow and deliberate. The drone guy's like, yeah, I do 10 attacks a day. So you got off 0 or 1 shots. I got off 30 attacks. Blew up a tank, blew up a couple cars, blew up a couple bunkers, blew up a couple groups of guys. I probably killed 20 dudes. And the sniper's like, I made 1 shot.
Maybe.
So what do you want to put your money into? The 18-year-old PlayStation nerd who can fly 10, 12, 15 drones a day and take out a main battle tank? Or this poor sniper who has taken months of training and skill and fitness and discipline and he's infiltrating to get that perfect shot, and then you just hear some idiot with a drone fly over you. Zoom.
Yeah.
like
Well,
a lot of the utility of the sniper is being brought into question.
Yeah, well, think of the ability of the sniper versus the ability of the normal infantryman versus the drone operator. If you were sitting in a bunker or wherever on the battlefield before this war, before drones, and you saw people, Russians moving out there at 1,500 meters, you could see them, you can see movement. How the fuck are you going to hit those guys with a sniper rifle, right? 1,500 meters. You can see, they're there. You can look through the binos. You know what they're doing. You can't touch them, right? You don't have artillery. Let's say you don't have mortars. Okay. You're just a rifle squad sitting there on your post, looking at the enemy do their thing out 1,500 meters. Even if you had a Barrett, you're not going to, your chances are you're not going to hit those guys unless you're a really good sniper, right? Unless you're a trained no shit sniper. Now you see guys move, you just send out a drone, and in
Easy.
a minute you're going to hit that guy right on the face, just like a sniper would hit that guy at 800 meters, right? You're going to hit him right in the forehead.
You're a drone sniper.
Yeah.
I saw two
How
videos.
long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
two videos out where you kind of really highlight this. One was a Chechen sniper. He's in a trench. I'm in a trench. They can't see me. And Ukrainians identify him as a sniper. He's got a sniper rifle, high-end Russian sniper rifle, scope, everything.
Dragunov, piece of shit Dragunov from 1960.
That wasn't a Dragunov, although the Dragunov is still prolific, of course. Okay, drone operator flies in a drone, flies in, hits him dead on, kills him. It's a great counter sniper system. So back in the day, you'd get a counter sniper to fight a sniper. A sniper takes out a sniper, like a tank takes out a tank. Now you're like, why waste your time and effort for maybe nothing to try to maneuver on him with a counter sniper? I'm going to have some kid in a bunker 10 clicks away, just fly a drone in and blow him up. And that's what they did. Mm-hmm. So the preferred counter sniper tactic is generally the most efficient one. That's a drone strike. So Mr. Chechen Sniper, he's dead. It's in my book. I got a good picture of him laying down on the ground in his bunker.
Graphic? Do you have a graphic novel here?
Well, he's dead. He's dead. So page 444, if you want to look on that. Merely the title
for the reader. Page
for the reader. A Chechen sniper lies dead after being struck by a Ukrainian FPV drone in a counter sniper operation. And it took a while to figure out like who the guy was, but he's got a beard. You're like, oh, he's a Chechen. Russians are clean shaven, unless there's some kind of special forces cool guy. Russian soldiers is a clean shaven army. They're like, dude, that's a Chechen. And I'm like, yeah, but anyway, so he was identified. He's a sniper. Let's get him with a drone. Take 5 minutes.
There's got to be some uses for the sniper still in modern warfare.
Is.
Like
sure there
I
is.
can see. You tell me, you're the expert, but just off the top of my head, I can see channelized geography in maybe a big city where you have this long avenue of approach, and you can have a sniper there just controlling that avenue of approach, where they get channelized coming into the city. Something like that, where it's very fixed, very long distance, maybe 2,000 meters. He can just control one avenue of approach from infantry or even, light vehicles coming in.
Sure, for sure. And the Ukrainian snipers say this. They're like, a lot of us are driven into cities. Open terrain where a drone can just spot you easily. It's a non-starter. Like, we are driven into the cities. We need that 360 coverage of a building, so we're not seen by a drone. I saw another video, my second telling video of the traditional sniper in a ghillie suit, completely covered in his ghillie suit, perfect for a rural setting, laying in this kind of wooded area where he was, but he got detected. And we've talked before about like thermal cameras. I am completely unseen by the human eye. Correct. But you were seen by the thermal eye of the cheap drone flying above you. Hey, bro, that looks like a guy laying down in the bushes. Oh, I think he's a sniper. Okay. And then you drop a bomb on him. So there's a picture of this Russian guy in a ghillie suit running away from the drone that spotted him. And he flies into him, blows him up.
No real use for a ghillie suit. You don't need that in the city. So what are you going to do with that thing?
Right, urban camouflage. Well, you still need urban camouflage. Urban camouflage is a different beast, and a lot of people blow that off in an urban setting. They think just because they're in a building, I'm good. I'm like, that's not true. If the reader wants to look at page 93. There's a picture. This is a German police sniper, and his camouflage is just like mottled MOTTLED, if I'm using that right, mottled, kind of colored sheet that he's got over him. Breaks up his outline. So when you look in the window, you're
Mhm.
like, what am I looking at? There
Yeah.
is no outline of him. There's no outline of his weapon. You can't see it in the picture, but in front of him, there's this mesh netting that goes over the front of the window he's shooting out of, where you can see out, but you can't see in. But that type of tradecraft you have to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of people blow it off. Even though you can put it in a day pack, you can take it with you, set you up in any room so people can't see you. A lot of people think, well, I'm in a building. I'm good, bro. You can't see me. If you can see
Yeah.
out the window, they can see you in through the window. Drones can
Yeah.
fly in a window.
My friend John Spencer had an article, maybe
Dude, why are you dropping big
four,
names? Why are you name dropping?
maybe 3 years ago. He had an article about just sheets in urban warfare. They just put sheets in alleyways, and that blocks the field of view for the snipers.
They
They
did that in
can't,
Sarajevo.
yeah, it's just a sheet. Just hang it up
In
between your alleys. Can't see it.
in the DC
Perfect.
snipers, they put sheets around gas stations because those were targets for the DC snipers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheets have a role, but you also want to do your urban camouflage in a way that doesn't give your position away, where you're not waving a flag. Hey, bro, I'm concealing myself right here. But anyways, that's all part of urban tradecraft, which is the same principles of rural tradecraft, but they're different. Running around in a
Yeah.
ghillie suit inside like a building with whitewashed walls isn't going to help you.
So, like, if you were in San Francisco, you would just cover yourself in human feces and hypodermic needles and just hide in the corner.
So you're trying to be funny. So I did
Yeah.
see a Russian sniper, picture of him with a urban ghillie suit, but all attached on the outside was rubble, pieces of wood, either rocks or stones or something that looked like pieces of brick. And I'm like, oh, dude,
Right.
perfect. This guy just looks like a pile of debris. I'm like,
Mhm.
absolutely perfect urban camouflage. But then he fucked up, like a lot of snipers fuck up. They don't camouflage your weapon. They don't camouflage your scope. They don't camouflage your rifle. So here's this Russian. I got you. You look like a pile of rubble with a long black sniper rifle sticking out from it. Like, dude,
Yeah.
you think they're not going to see your rifle? Your rifle's invisible? Like, you got to
Hey,
camouflage your weapon system, dude.
how do you know much about the lens polarization thing? Where, if you just had a regular piece of glass and you open up your lens cover and it reflects sunlight off the glass, but now they have those depolarizing lens covers where you can see through them, but they don't reflect
Yeah,
sunlight. Have
right.
you?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not that up on it, but I know traditionally you've used like honeycomb covers, and the honeycomb, like little plastic piece you put on the end of your scope, and that stops reflecting from like all these different angles.
Different angles.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
a picture right now, page 434, of a Ukrainian sniper. He's got his lid open on his scope, and you're like, yeah, you're going to look for that reflective lens of the scope. It's pretty easy to have an anti-reflection device on there where you're
Mhm.
not going to see it. There's also counter sniper technology where you look for glass. You look on the battlefield for glass, and it shows it. And it shows it kind of like as a white light on your optic, where you're like, that's some sort of glass.
Mhm.
And if you're looking for a sniper and you've kind of narrowed it down, maybe that's a sniper looking at me.
How well do you think the acoustic detection systems work? Because they're supposed to give you a vector and a distance based on the what the God, what's that physics principle of Doppler effect? Sorry,
I don't know. I'm a
based
history
on the
major. Okay, yeah,
Doppler
right.
effect of the bullet going, pew,
Tony, I am so glad you brought up chapter 10, sniper technology. For the reader, it starts on page
Great.
190. It starts on
I didn't
page
do that on
190.
purpose, but I'll
Very,
take
very
credit for it.
well. Starts on page 198. Sure, there's something that is very popular out there called Shot Spotter. Shot Spotter is a civilian company generally used by law enforcement in urban cities with gun violence. And it is merely a not complicated series of microphones, put up around a couple city blocks, wherever you want to put it, where the violence is, generally housing projects. low income, poor people, all that shit. And yeah, so you hear a gunshot and you triangulate it from different microphones. The more microphones you have around, the better to narrow it down. You hear the shot. It goes to the shot spotter if I'm saying it, yeah, shot spotter command center. They download the audio, analyze it, try to determine is that a gunshot? Is that a piece of wood dropping? Is it a car backfiring? Is it a loud noise? Then they say, oh, yeah, that's a gunshot. Then ideally, they send it out to whatever the local police unit is nearby. And I think they've recorded times of 90 seconds from shot to informing the law enforcement, who then goes over to where they think the shot came from. Now, and our shot spotter gives you an address. So if the address they give you is like the Carter, if you got like some kind of 20-story apartment building, okay, dude, where'd the shot come from? If it came, is it if you got 10 rooms per floor, 20 stories on one side, okay, dude, which one of the 200 rooms was the shot fired from?
If it just says Chicago.
Was shot from there. Well,
or
they
if it just says
Chicago.
Okay, go to Chicago.
I want to tell you a Chicago story, which shows you the limit of surveillance technology. I was standing in the Homeland Security, ops center, whatever. We're just standing there checking it out. They had shot spotter. It was down though for repairs. Anything mechanical can break. You can have all these fancy systems. If they're not up, who cares? We're watching a surveillance camera. Guy standing in front of a doorway in front of a building, just chilling. Guy walks by, ball cap down, dark shirt, pulls out a gun from his pocket, shoots the guy point blank, puts the gun back in his pocket, walks away. I'm like, I'm not really in law enforcement. Did that guy just get shot? Yeah, he got shot. Dudes are like drinking coffee, reading the news. Sports are like,
that was a murder.
Yeah, the other guy got whacked. Yeah, they're like, that's probably a drug beef. Yeah, we know that street. We know the neighborhood. That happens. Yeah, whatever.
We don't want to get involved.
No, they're like, we'll get a guy there. But what do you want? Like, if a cop's not standing there, what do you want us to do? And if a cop was standing there, the guy never would have got shot. They're like, okay, murder number 3,800 for the year. Okay, we'll go check it out, and we'll see what happens. Pretty sure nobody saw anything. No one's gonna.
But if you had the National Guard there, happened to just be sweeping the streets right in front of that incident, then they could do what? Call the police, and the police would do the same exact thing.
And they'd be like, got it, bro. Yeah. A unit will be there as soon as we can.
Thanks.
The triple homicide they're already investigating the next block over. We'll send a guy as soon as we can.
But not in Chicago, because according to the governor of Illinois, there is no need to send in the National Guard to Chicago. Crime is fine.
I mean, if he
crime
wants
in Chicago,
if he wants to literally clean up the city, he should probably allow the guard and give them brooms and
how much could they
spray and
save
wash
on their budget?
Yep,
a year.
Clean the windows, sweep the streets,
rake the parks.
Yeah, do recycling. Yeah, that might be helpful.
Perfect. I think it's a win-win.
Perfect for the National Guard.
What, in your opinion, this is kind of a loaded question. What is the best sniper rifle? What is that? Is it like a 308? Is it a 50 cal? What would you rather have? Because go ahead. I want to hear you. I'll tell you a story, but I want to hear your opinion.
Sure. Too broad. I really don't have any answer for that. It depends on what you're doing. But in that, I will say I observed a trend of sniper rifles getting much bigger. The caliber's getting much bigger to the point where probably not many people roll with a 308 anymore. You would be a designated marksman if you're using a 308. Dudes are using 300 Win Mag, 338, obviously, like you said, 50 cal. Ukrainians are rolling with 14.5 millimeter rifles. Like we're getting to the point of anti-tank guns now with how big they are. And a Ukrainian, like a 50-year-old Ukrainian reservist has the record for the longest shot from Kherson across the Dnieper River, if I got that right. Shot some Russians out in the open at just under 3 kilometers, I think, with basically an anti-aircraft rifle with a suppressor on it. The shit's like 8 feet long, and he's like
Yeah.
some granddad. He's like, yeah,
Lord's, is that the Lord's
Lord's
Horizon? I think
Horizon.
we've talked about
Yeah,
it
Lord's
before.
Horizon. He's like, hey, dude, I'm just
You
in
said
the
it's
reserves.
14 and a
0.5.
half millimeter.
Right. So bigger than
So
50
the
cal.
50 cal is 12.7 millimeter.
Right.
So
It's bigger
that
than
is
that.
bigger.
But there
Yeah.
is a trend to much larger calibers, much longer range. If for the reader wanted to ever look on page 432, there's a picture of a guy in Syria, Syrian rebel, supplied with a Ukrainian Snipex is the company, Snipex alligator rifle, 14.5 millimeter. I don't know. I don't know. Is a dude 5.5 feet, 6 feet? That's like an
Yeah.
8-foot gun, and the suppressor
Well,
is like
he's
2
kneeling
feet.
in the
No, he's
picture.
not. No, he's not. He's
Oh,
standing.
he's standing up. Oh, it looks like he's kneeling.
At first,
Oh
I thought he
yeah.
was kneeling
Okay.
too, and I'm
Oh,
like,
that's at least 8-foot long gun.
dude, you see videos of two
Make
people.
sure you camouflage that gun.
Yeah, you got video. You can only fire it from an urban location where you're concealed, or you simply have no fear of surveillance, or there are no drones. And I've seen pictures of two guys carrying this. One guy holds it from the front, one guy holds it from the back, and it's a
Doesn't
two-man.
break down. It doesn't. It must break down
It's
at some level.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You take the 2-foot suppressor off it, and now it's
The
only
barrel doesn't come out.
and now it's only 6 feet.
Uh,
Well, there are some weapons that are breakdown models, and it all depends on the company that makes it. Do they decide to make it? Is it profitable enough to make it? If the reader would turn their eyes to page 147, that is a 20 millimeter rifle. Think about that, 20 millimeter. You're talking anti-tank
that's
gun.
huge. That's
made
huge.
by Anzio Iron Works that breaks down into a carrying case. So it
How convenient.
Breaks
and it
down.
weighs 150 pounds.
39 pounds.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can conceal
You
this.
can carry it.
You can transport it. And like in an urban guerrilla environment, you don't have to walk around with an 8-foot gun. It's going to be 8 feet when you put it together. But yeah, so this company made a breakdown version just like for that, so you can carry it. Yeah.
So when I think it was in March, did I say that we were talking about when I was in Germany with the Ukrainian snipers?
Yeah, right.
And getting trained, and they had 308 Win, and they also used that. We had the Barrett out there, but mostly they used 308. And the snipers in Izum, and this was 2023 when I was in Izum, the snipers there were telling me that they didn't, because of that terrain, because it was a river, their field of view was limited. They said the 308 is best. They don't want the 50 cal. They don't want to lug that stuff around. But, it's situational dependent. Sometimes you want a 14.5 millimeter anti-tank gun that shoots 3,000 meters. Sometimes you just want a 308 that shoots 800 meters,
Yeah, different weapons for different things. Now in Bakhmut, sniping went on in Bakhmut in a large capacity. This one unit, it's in my book as well on the Ukraine chapter. I think they had like 158 kills in a couple months. When you got meat waves coming at you and they don't care about their casualties.
Yeah, the stories I was told about Bakhmut, the Russians were very stupid, and they would just YOLO and run across a kill zone like an open avenue and just be like, fuck it, here we go, count to 3 and just sprint and just get mowed down. I mean, it happened all the time. Every day, they were saying. All the time.
And
they were on drugs.
Yeah, well, it helps.
The Russians were on drugs. Yeah.
The Russian sniper enterprise it's overall considered pretty good. They had many years in Donbass to practice. They had many years in Syria to practice. The overall Russian sniper enterprise was very mature, very good equipment. I saw this really cool video. I don't know if Russians released it or the guy got whacked and Ukrainians got it, but it was a Russian sniper team in Donbass. before the big war, and it showed them. The Russians obviously filmed it, probably did it for their own purposes or whatever. But you got to see this team for about 3 minutes, how they maneuvered, how they were dressed, the equipment that they had. I think Russians used bigger teams, like 4, 5, 6-man sniper teams, like in tandem with each other, and they have more support. But they were a very mature, experienced sniper force. Ukraine is just trying to catch up. Only like a couple years after the Donbass war did they even develop a professional sniper school. Did they even recognize it as a skill, kind of like an MOS, where that's what you did, as opposed to, oh, look, I got a rifle with a scope. I'm a sniper. So Ukraine is far behind, but they're catching up. The West is sending in high quality systems, the most expensive, high end sniper systems you can think of with scopes are getting sent in. They crowdsource a lot themselves. They never have enough, but they're getting better, and the equipment's getting better. And Ukrainian domestic manufacturing is starting to catch up with high-end, purpose-built sniper rifles.
Well, they better get better soon because they're going to need it. Okay, so your book, second edition that just came out, is Fry the Brain: The Art of Urban Sniping and Its Role in Modern Guerrilla Warfare.
Available on Amazon.com, so our 11 listeners can peruse it.
Now you'll sell 11 more copies
in Italy.
Double all the copies that you've ever sold.
100%. 100%.
So, hey, good chat. Let's end on this real quick video. Simply a guy, a Russian.
You see the bodies next to him?
Yeah, it looks like the other guy got blown up too.
Two other guys.
Before.
Yeah.
Like he knows what's coming. Oh, are you going to even try to shoot that thing?
He's exhausted.
He's giving up.
He's got a leg injury.
Hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt already.
He's giving, and walk. then he doesn't even exist. His backpack's still there, but he's gone.
And you're in the middle of nowhere. There's a dead body there. There's another dead body there in the shell mark where some blast happened. There's nowhere to hide.
And you're wide out in the open on that beach. Look, at this point,
I think he was trying to work his gun for a second.
It probably got jammed because
he's wounded. He's hurt. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with him now because he's gone. But
for what? For what?
Yeah. Was it worth it?
Was that worth it? For what are you getting out of this?
$30,000 enlisted and death bonus. Your parents have a new Lada now, and maybe a flat out in some crappy Russian town. Was it worth it at all? I don't think so.
What's the point, man? What are you getting out of it? Nowhere to hide.
Yeah. Normally, I would say you still got to run, right? Like do your alligator run, zigzag. That guy, he's hurt. The best case in that for him is try to surrender to the drone. Take all your shit off. Take all your clothes off.
Yeah, this is my counter drone technique.
Just take your helmet off. Take your plates off. Throw your gun down. Take your shirt off if you have to. Just sit there.
Get a sign.
And
I'll be a POW for food. Just tell me where to go, bro.
There's nothing else you could do in that scenario.
You'd
in
have
that
to
situation.
Drop your ruck. Try to shoot it with your rifle. You got to zigzag. Hopefully it misses. You only get like some shrapnel or something. But a good drone operator, he's not going to fall for that. He's going to hover. Get low.
You don't have to get that close. Did you see the size of that explosion? You don't have to get that close to kill that guy.
That was a substantial explosion.
Yeah, you could get, with that thing, you could get like, what do you think, 20 feet away and still probably kill that guy?
If you get some shrapnel.
Huge circular error probable on that thing. Well,
it's horrible. You're defenseless.
Yeah.
Absolutely defenseless.
The horrors of modern combat. If you think you can survive, you can't. Because they can, if you move, they see you and they'll kill you.
So what if you were some high-speed special operations guy?
And all that training.
And hey, you're Jason Bourne. That's cool. And doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are.
How long you went through the Q course? You went through Ranger School. You're airborne. You've been in the military for 15 years. You can bench press 320 pounds.
I'm glad I was about to bring up how much do you bench press.
You can run the 40 in 6 seconds.
Doesn't matter.
Heavy. None of that matters. And it doesn't matter how good you are with that rifle or your ballistic knife. You're not going to take out that drone. Yeah, it's scary.
Yep.
Good chat. Good chat. All right.
To all
I
our
will see you
traffickers,
Wednesday.
we will see our traffickers on Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
The Flash Traffic Podcast.